Hello there, Councilman Gish. Here, just going to talk about the GrimesPlex, or more technically, Hope commercial plot. So this is a preliminary plot. So by the way, this was what was passed in July. And just so some clarity, and by the way, anything I state in this video is my best attempt at processing what I've been told from the city planner, city engineer, etc. But I am not a professional engineer, so if I misspeak, that's on me, and so just know that. But I will do my best, and I believe what I'm communicating is accurate to the best of my knowledge. So, but anyhow, so I've had a lot of questions from residents about the GrimesPlex, and especially just concerns about what's going on up in kind of this area, mostly because of just concerns about the runoff and what's the water management plan up there, and how's that going to affect those people, because a lot of these residents have the buffer of the creek that runs through here, and so the homes over in this area probably a little more safe, or less concerned, if you will, of any water management plans. But we'll talk about the creek as well. So first of all, preliminary plot. Preliminary plot means it could change. So if you see this image, right, and you're like, oh, well, I thought this building was going right here, and why is it not like that anymore? Well, preliminary plots are sort of like the skeleton, if you will. So when we approve a preliminary plot, it's mostly like, hey, this is where the roads are going to go, this is where the sewers are going to go. So it's kind of like we're locking in the infrastructure, if you will. But where that building specifically sits on this square, where this building sits specifically on this square, could change, and that can change until we get a site plan from the developer. But the point being is we kind of know how the water and electrical, sewer, right, all that stuff, and how that's going to get to that specific plot. But how things are arranged or laid out on that plot is still subject to change up to a site plan, and so that's how the process works. So anyhow, now that we kind of got that out of the way, let's erase this. Let's talk about down south. So down here, here's that big pond. This is the new strip coming in. Right here would be Arby's. The Hy-Vee Fast and Fresh is here. Of course, here's the Hy-Vee. So my understanding is that when discussing this, this retention pond is huge right here. And so a lot of this area is supposed to flow into here and be retained and captured, but also this as well. And so that retention pond is doing a lot of heavy lifting and work there, but that is why it's ginormous and pretty deep there. So that's kind of what's happening on that one. All right. And so, and that's, I've been told both the retention ponds I'm going to refer to today have been over-engineered, and so they feel that they have plenty of capacity to be able to manage and do what they're supposed to do. So, so that's encouraging. All right, now this one up here. So the way I've been told is this one. I've heard a lot of people say, "Wow, this retention pond here is super deep." And currently behind these houses, right, you can see it's sort of kind of drawn in. This was kind of a green belt in here, and water kind of naturally flowed through and then dumped into the creek. So we have our creek. Right, here's the creek. Okay. All right, so what I've been told is the water management plan is basically this. There is a swale here, I think that's the correct term, And so the water from the parking lot, which was one of the big concerns, because that's all concrete, so the water's just gonna run right down. Is supposed to go into that swale, and that swale is underground, and then dumps into that retention pond. And a lot of this water from the upper end of the sports complex, I believe, is supposed to also dump into that retention pond. And then when that retention pond gets super big or super full, then it dumps out in the creek. But as some of you have noted walking by, that thing looks huge and deep. So like I said, it's over-engineered to try to capture all that water like that. And so that is the actual plan, I believe. All right. Let's see, let's go. And so here's that big one down south. Let's see here. Yeah, so there's the parking lot. So that's not a very good view there. Here we go. So you can sort of see the now we're in that bottom corner of that parking lot, and again, so we're coming through here. This is the inlet. So like I was just talking about, so a little better looking view. All right, and then the outlets down here. Here's another inlet, I believe. All right, so a question though. So we got Northeast 11th here. And so some of these backyards were all concerned about getting flooded. So right now there is a culvert. Let's see, I'll switch to different colors. There's a culvert right here. And so my understanding is that once the swale and the underground pipes get put in that I drew in green there, once that gets put in, then this culvert is kind of basically shut off. And so the only water that should be getting into this area is water from the yards themselves, which is kind of your current state. And then just from this kind of hill of a berm here, anything that kind of just happens to run off from here, just from the sides of that. So I don't I've been assured that that's not going to really contribute that much more water than what those residents are used to, and so it's we are not dumping everything from out east into here, so we shouldn't be contributing a whole lot more. And so those people, and understandably so, who are concerned about their backyards there, I think they're going to be good from water management standpoint based on what I've been told. Okay. Last thing is up north. Let's see here. Let's go back to this view. So we have these. Let's see here. I don't know. I feel like green today. I don't know why. So we have these proposed residential. So by the way, this is not 13th. This is 13th. Wow. And so that's what's already there, right? And then this is Heritage Drive, and right now it stops right here. So the plan is to go down, wrap around, and then 12th will extend up. So that's what they're looking at. But I've had lots of questions from the residents about these backyards. So we just addressed these backyards down here, but let's talk about these backyards, and then also what's going on there. So I've been told again by the city engineer and city planner, so these backyards, first of all, there's kind of a hump somewhere up here, so some of this storm water might go to the east, and so some of this will come down and contribute to those backyards, but the belief is that it's really not much more than what those residents should be used to. So again, we're not dumping the entirety of the development to the east down into those backyards. And kind of similar over here for these people. So again, we addressed the parking lot. So the parking lot is supposed to dump into there, so we shouldn't be. We're not dumping into those backyards like that. So that helps a lot. So the only thing that should be really getting into there is similar to just up here, is just whatever kind of naturally might come down from those backyards. But I've been told that it really should not be much more than what those residents are used to, so they shouldn't see their backyards flooding or anything like that from this development. And in fact, again, as you go to the east, kind of got chicken scratches everywhere, but as you go to the east, that does kind of slope down, and so only water being contributed here downhill should kind of just be from these maybe 2 or 3 backyards. So not a lot. So I think from a water management standpoint, we're looking really good, and I think they've thought this thing really well out after having a big sit down with them. I even went out on site and had some conversations with some people from the city, and so they were kind enough to meet me out there on site and talk it through. So the last thing is I've talked to some residents about this too, and so I really appreciate their input. A couple of them even came to the meetings and talked to council. But this is not going to be an emergency gate like it's shown here in the drawing. So the plan now, after the citizen input, is to make what they call like a hammerhead. So my drawing's way exaggerated, but basically you could pull and then do a turnaround and get back out, and then there's going to be a berm here to shield from the parking lot. And I got some elevations from the city on that, and so based on the elevations and everything, I feel pretty confident that this berm and its height and everything is going to shield, these residents from staring at a parking lot. So I think it'll be pretty good. Now, one thing to keep in mind: anytime we have new plantings, the plantings start small. So initially, there might not be a great buffer there. Or maybe not as much as we would want, but the idea is that stuff grows up, and then 5 years down the road, and then it looks pretty good. So, anyhow, so I think that addresses a lot of the concerns in terms of the water management and some of the things that people have addressed, thrown my way. And so I hope that helps. I hope that makes people feel better about it. If it doesn't, that's okay. Do contact us at the city council or contact the city planner's office and just discuss it with them or discuss it with us, and we'll try to understand your concerns and help you out as best we can. So anyhow, I hope that helps, and you guys all have a wonderful, glorious day.